All right, I'm going to make this really short because here's the thing. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to, but maybe we'll end up talking and it'll just be difficult or whatever. But I don't know. So here's the thing for me. Okay, first of all, when push comes to shove and we argue, yeah, I think I'm paying attention more to like Gary and your ideas than you guys seem to have grok of mine. I acknowledge to you guys it seems the other way around. And my relativism is such that, well, maybe both are true. Maybe it's because of some relative situation. So whatever. I'd like to put that aside. The issue here is that you brought up an issue about existence. We quickly got into this situation. Let's just interpret it the way you were saying to interpret it, which I did for a long time. I spent a lot of time thinking about this, what you're saying about convincing versus other, ways of describing, making these arguments. Let's just say, okay, it's right to say we're convincing. I'm trying to convince you that you can have a complete epistemological system where you start from this data set and you grab, and since it's so rich and full of all of our experiences and everything we know about space and time and everything else, we get the tools and everything else out of that. Now, how do we have the tool to get the first tool? Well, the brain is obviously built in, so we have this complex thing that we have to explain, and that does make it like inherently psychological. But we're animals, and that's my conclusion is that there's no escaping that except for we take this data, we keep inventing these tools like logic so that we can refine the data in more and more reliable way. So that's what I'm trying to convince you of. It's not working too well, I guess. What are you trying to convince me of this time? Because we didn't get far enough for me to figure it out. I mean, I have some ideas. You're trying to convince me, maybe that there can be no, I forget what the word you used was, no definition though of for the word I, or no valuable definition or something. Um, I don't know what you were even trying to convince me about what exists, right? So whatever you do try to convince me about, I'm going to filter it through here. I'm going to say, well, is there evidence for that? And, and does it follow from that? If you just want to go pick some set of rules and say, well, first of all, we assume all of these and these don't count as me bringing premises in because everybody has to agree, then say that's what it is. Because I don't know what in this specific run of ideas, I thought I accepted that you wanted to give certain definitions and we'd see where they'd go. And I gave mine, and I think we saw where they go. You have no objection to that idea. You just think it doesn't go anywhere. To me, that doesn't make sense because it's all the data. So it goes to everything that we can figure out from any data. So anywhere we go with figuring stuff out, it would have to come from there. So this is going to there and so on. From my perspective, I don't know what you're trying to convince me of. You're not trying to convince me that it doesn't exist. Uh, are you trying to convince me that it has nothing to do with something? Which, or whatever. Whatever. What is it? I'm not trying to put words in your mouth at all. What are you trying to say about existence? I'm saying what exists is this information. All we ever have is information. But it seems to be about information that's beyond the information we have. It seems to be that this information comes from a bigger set of information. This is some sort of subset of the potential information. And in fact, that we only even notice a subset of the information that probably does come through there.